Good evening. My name is 12 Gauge. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Friday. If this is your first time being here, please give the channel a chance. Go through the library, look around, and see if there's anything that you like. Leave a comment. How's everybody doing tonight? And if you've been here before, I appreciate you continuing to come back and give the channel a chance. Goodness. Tonight we're going to talk about true crime, the setup to kill, murder investigations. I'm going to warn you tonight, it's going to be kind of graphic in some of the videos that I'm going to be showing and talking about. So I hope you guys can handle it. Um, if you've been here before, you understand that this channel is a little different than most of the other ones because we dive into the educational part of it, and I'm able to incorporate information to show you the difference in crime scene investigations and the way that it's handled. So, also, if you come into the chat, I ask that you keep it classy, um, that you agree to disagree, and that all opinions are valid. You know, everybody's opinion is valid. Doesn't mean that you're right, but they're valid. Doesn't mean that you're wrong, but they're valid. This is a calm chat, a calm channel, and we try to get along in here. Don't bring drama from other channels and things of that nature. So I hope that you enjoy that. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I have a lot to show you. Um, have a bunch to show you, and this first one we're going to talk about. There's no sound to this first one, so I'm going to be talking throughout it. Okay. Um, it's going to be walking you through a crime scene. It's going to show you all the all the evidence. And I want you to know that the things that I show you tonight are things that you can use in other cases that you follow. There's been cases where, excuse me, where individuals discuss evidence that isn't pertinent to the crime scene, or they say that there's no way that this evidence could be realistic, okay? But I'm going to show you in this video as we walk through this exactly what police see when they arrive to a crime scene. And this is a double homicide crime scene video. So here we go. Like I said, there's not any sound. So I'm going to be talking while they're walking. Okay. So as you walk in, obviously you're looking around, making sure there's nothing in the doorway. And you walk in, you start looking around. First thing you notice is there's stuff everywhere. There's stuff on the floor. Things look disheveled. And this is obviously part of the crime scene. You're continuing to look around. What do you see that could be evidence? Okay, there's glasses. You ask yourself, is this evidence or is it not? Just because this camera pan through is not picking up the evidence, I want you to think like an investigator and what would you consider evidence and what would you not consider evidence? You know what I mean? And based on your understanding, look at that table. As you notice, they're not touching anything. They're just spanning the room. There's something sharp right there, has what looks to be blood. You can't really assume that that's blood, but it looks to be blood. Okay. I haven't watched this whole thing through, so I don't know if there's any bodies in here or not. So if there is, you know, just kind of work through it. And see, there's another piece of evidence. It's broken glass, broken pottery, or something of that nature. See, it's everywhere. So there's blood. But you really, I mean, we're watching this in kind of like a bystander's role. We can't really see if it's blood or not. So, I mean, if it is blood, you gotta tell yourself, well, I gotta make sure that I tag this and I swab it. So we've seen glasses, we've seen a table that has been broken out. See, there's the glasses, and they're all bent. See how they're bent like they were knocked off somebody's head? See, there's a speck of blood. At least that's what it looks like. There's some more. See, so as you're looking at this stuff that you see, just like in another case, they said that it was that there was blood everywhere. Okay, well, there's blood here everywhere where we're looking. You know what I mean? So they're they're kind of blocking out the body, so you can see the body right there. They're blocking it out. So the individual has obviously fallen or been placed right there. So where do you think the situation started? Not necessarily where the body is. That's where the body ended up. Okay. So as you're looking at this, you wouldn't necessarily say this started in the kitchen or in the dining area. Okay. What wasn't a gun used on the couch? You're right. You're right. But as you're looking around, you're trying to figure it all out. See, there's more stuff turned over. But as you're looking at this stuff, you can't become one dimensional. Just because it looks like something doesn't necessarily mean that it is. You know what I mean? I mean that as an investigator and as you're looking through the evidence and trying to find the evidence, you have to be open minded because obviously this guy's role with the video camera is not to necessarily pick up anything or to tag anything. Um, it's merely just to show the surroundings. But as we're looking through this, let's say we were the first responders, we were the first police officer on the scene. This is what they see right off the bat. It's not like they get to walk through there once it's been cleaned up. Um, I think it's in Pennsylvania. See, so there's a lot of blood on the carpet, or something's on the carpet. Like I said, you can't really assume until you really go through it. See, there's credit cards there. You're trying to piece together things, and you're saying, "Well, this was this a robbery?" I really don't know because they're not. I mean, there's no sound, so they're not telling us. All I know is the person deceased. It's a double homicide in this house. So it looks like groceries. See, there's some bananas. There's some pants. It looks like somebody had came in and set those stuff down, and then possibly was attacked because there's a lot of rust-colored stuff on the floor. I mean, looking at this, if you've been doing this for a long time, you could probably tell, yeah, that's blood. But me, if I was going in there for the first time, I could assume it was blood, but I wouldn't know that it necessarily was blood. You know what I mean? See, there's a note on that person. There's a pen on him or her. That looks like oh damn, that's a frying pan looking thing. Is that what those pieces of broken thing are? Is a frying pan? Did you see those broken pieces? See those gray pieces? It looks like it would go to that circular thing. Yeah, that's what I thought, a frying pan. And it looked like they were hit so hard it like shattered it. And those pieces were everywhere. They were on the couch, they were on the floor. Remember the look at that. There's a note. Kind of like a butter knife looking thing. Like just say, hey, look what I learned how to do in prison, motherfucking son of a bitch. You should watch who's let in the door. Ha ha ha. Thanks for the memories. Wow. I don't know what year. Everything is pinned under the live stream, so you can go and rewatch it or whatever. I can look that up after I get done with this. Look, they tore the telephone. It looks like the telephone had been torn off the wall. There's more splatter. So this looks like yeah, they cut the cable. It looks like a very violent attack. That looks like a handprint. So you have to wonder if that's the victim's handprint or if that's the attacker's handprint. There's the phone right there. You see it? It looks like the phone was the individual was trying to either use the phone and they fell and the table turned over and the phone's right there. Yeah. See how much you can tell at a crime scene? Like, that's why in one of the cases that we all followed very thoroughly, I don't believe some of the things that people say about that case. I'm not talking about the police. I'm not talking about the investigators. I'm talking about the people that comment on the case. They act like it would have been just a clean case, where there would have been none of this. There would have been no bodies. I mean, also one thing that I was looking at today, and when you're when you're going through a crime scene, they take your clothing as well and look for any kind of DNA or fingerprints or anything. See, look how the blood or whatever that is. I know it's blood, but just for the sake of, it's quick to coagulate on that wood. I mean, so if you're walking in here and you're just observing evidence, which that's what this person is doing, is just observing the evidence by videotaping it, you're able to see, okay, there was a red substance on the wood on the cabinet. That could be a good point, Jeremiah. I mean, yeah. Or it could be a calling card. It could be a calling card for the police to see why this crime happened the way it did. And this obviously happened in Texas, in Fort Worth, or that's where the victim or this lady lives, Stadium Drive. Wow, I know where Stadium Drive is. You could be right. It sounded like someone had a grudge, maybe. Yeah, because look at how they emptied out the wallet. Like, I guess they were looking for something. It looks like they were looking for something, or because look at how it's all laid out, like they were looking through it. Chances are the perp got injured and dripped it all down and searched for goods. Good point. Good point. See, so there's one. This is a double homicide. So look at all the evidence that was in just that area. There was a lot. But if you look right here, you don't see anything really of importance. You don't see blood splatter. You don't see any of that. You don't see like anything out of the ordinary. So possibly whoever that person is right there in the kitchen or in the dining room area under the table, they didn't make it this far. See, that just looks like, somebody had been reading or something. There's not anything out of place. It looks like pretty stable. So would you theorize that any of this stuff was relevant to the crime? That's what you would have to ask yourself if you were doing this. If you were looking through all this, you would have to ask yourself, is this part of the crime? That looks like bills. But also looks like when that person walked in, it looked like they dropped that bag that had bananas, and it looked like it had a new a new pair of jeans or something. Well, it looked like a female that whose driver's license that was. I don't know if it was a female or not. So they're in a room right now. They're in a bedroom, and obviously they're looking for any kind of evidence because this is how it's done. This is, I mean, even though it was back then, it still is probably done like this today. You notice he didn't go into the bathroom. He scanned the bathroom, but he didn't go in there. And he's kind of scanning this room, looking for any kind of blood splatter, any kind of evidence. And it doesn't look like there's any. It looks pretty clean. Oh, oh, look at this. So this could be part of the crime. Looks like a drawer has been pulled out. It looks like a robbery, like they were looking for something. So in the Idaho 4 case, and I'm not going to get deep into that case on here tonight, but if you remember, very early they stated that it sounded like people were rummaging through the house. So possibly whenever they walked in and they saw anything that resembled this, could have given the insight that there was a robbery or a burglary. Because I heard today from um, somebody's newscast a year ago talking about it being a parallel crime, being a very distinctive crime scene. So it could have been something like this. Like in one part, it was very calculated, where all you found was bodies and blood and everything else. And in the other bedroom, there could have been what looked like this. You know, drawers open, purses thrown everywhere. I mean, because this obviously looks like they were looking for something, even though there's a deceased person in the dining room. You still further look around and you can see that there's papers, there's, this drawer has been pulled out. Yeah, yeah, you saw the VHS cassettes, right? See, there's a purse looking thing right there, and it has, I can't tell what all that is, but it looks like some kind of drawer that has paperwork. So if you're looking at this stuff, I find it very interesting because I'm using this video as kind of like an example on how other crimes could be documented. Because this is a vicious crime too, and it happened not in the same area. There was obviously in the beginning of the house there was, more blood splatter, and it looked like the weapon was in there and everything else. Yeah, the video said double homicide. I don't know where if it's going to show another crime scene. Yeah, Courtney double homicide crime scene. Daria, Deborah Pieringer. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to show another portion or if it's what. Does it sound better now? Can you hear me now? Is my sound any better? Okay, so there was a person in the dining room and there's a person here. So it's two women, you say? Oh, my sound's better? Okay, good. Look, there's a, what is that? That's part of the freaking pan. Looks like the frying pan has been put through the wall. Whatever that is, it's shattered. Like it, you see it right there in the corner? There's blood splatter. Wow. You know, I believe that people in the true crime community do not believe in their mind that crimes, when they're committed, they are not this brutal. You know what I mean? Like in their mind, they try to say, well, the cartel did it. Or now they're saying that Jack D could have done it. I watched a couple of videos today that said Jack D's the number one suspect again. So it's gone full circle in that case. But when you're thinking about murder, this is what a murder looks like. Look at that. There's the handle. So it looks like these people were killed with blunt force trauma. Obviously, there was two pans because the other one was right there by that other person. Yeah, it's lodged in the sheetrock. Wow. So it makes you wonder how much evidence is on that pan. You know, on the floor, on the body, if there's any DNA transfer, if there's any fingerprints, if there's any kind of foreign substances on the bodies, you know, things of that nature. And this is what they would have found in that one case. Either it was brought in, or they could have just went in the kitchen and got what the first thing they saw. I've never seen a pan like that. Obviously, they're not very strong ones, you know. There's a lot of blood right there. So that's on the pillow next to the body. And look how it soaks into the pillowcase. So in that other case, when we hear that there was blood everywhere, when we hear that there was a bloody crime scene, you can imagine that it probably looked like this. Blood on the walls. Even though it was a different weapon, there was still blood everywhere here. They weren't stabbed, they don't look like. It looks like they were killed with the pan. And like somebody said, it looked like the perpetrator got injured and they smeared some of their own handprints on the stuff. I think it was who was that said that in the chat? Could be decorated pans. Yeah. Look at that, it's everywhere. Because the victim looks like they were assaulted right there and they fell right there. So all this other stuff that's on the walls, I would have to assume that this was either transfer blood splatter from the perpetrator, because I don't think the individual would have been, unless they were, you know, stumbling around trying to get their balance. You know what I mean? Yeah, people aren't gonna, they're not gonna stay and watch this because it's real life. You know what I mean? It's like this is as real as it gets, and They don't want to hear. They don't want to see stuff like this. They want to see fairy tales. They want to hear things that make them feel good about other crimes that are committed, but they don't really put their mind into the crime. This is actually going right there into the crime. Look at that. But that's kind of behind the door. So it looks like either the individual was trying to stay upright or they fell against the wall, and that's where they landed, like in front of in front of the dresser. I don't know how that piece of the pan got lodged in the wall. That is interesting to me. They're both laying on their stomachs though, so it looks like either they were surprised, ambushed, because usually if somebody's confronted face on, they're gonna drop either to their side or on their back. See, he's retracing it. Like there's pieces of see the table's all messed up. Wow. So there you go with that case. And they kind of doubled back to show you the route that the individual kind of could have went. This one right here is really graphic. So if you've hung on there this long, I hope that you're enjoying this because somebody in the chat said there probably wasn't much blood in the case we don't talk about. I couldn't believe it. Are you serious? Look at how much blood was there, and that was just two people, and they weren't gutted. They weren't stabbed. This one is really violent, and you're gonna hear it. So prepare yourself. I'm just saying. This guy right here is terrible, man. This one, you know, that's why I say true crime is true crime. And a lot of these videos you could be watching on your own. So it's not like I'm setting something up to be graphic. It's just showing you what true crime is about. Here we go. What began as a quiet Saturday night at home with a couple drinking, celebrating moving into their new apartment, Adele Lopez, 26, Maria Nemeth, 31, were drinking tequila and enjoying each other's company. Around 3:30 a.m., both drunk now, the couple began having sex in the closet. Nemeth screamed out their ex's name during sex twice. This sent Lopez into a drunken rage. He ripped the closet door off his hinges and walked past the sliding glass door. Then he focused his anger on his girlfriend, who claimed was passed out. Lopez sexually mutilated her, shoving a beer bottle and a flat iron into her vagina, but that apparently wasn't enough. Lopez then inserted his arm deep into her vagina and pulled out her intestines. After this insane behavior, he went out on the porch and smoked a cigarette. When he returned, Emma was unconscious. He attempted to revive her by splashing water on her face, but it did not work. Then he called 911.
911, what is your emergency?
Hello? Fucking hurry up, man. My girlfriend's fucking in the bathroom. She get a
please, I mean, like, oh my God, she's gonna die, man. Come on. Okay. Come here, man, please. I can barely understand what's going on. But my God, she was slinky, and then, like, I don't know when she went to the bathroom or when I went there, it was full of blood and everything, like, I don't know, man, she's not breathing. I mean, like, she's gonna die, man. Come on, stop. That's all I have right now, man. I don't know. I just smoke right here, man. I just smoke right here. And let's put the address on it so we can get her some milk. Daddy, come on, man. Please don't fucking close your eyes, Daddy. Come on. Okay. I need to do something with the address on it so we can get some milk. Oh, man. Sir, I need the address so I can get some milk. Listen, I'm right. I don't know, it's just to be outside with the dominant scammer. I don't care. She was here. She just rented the apartment with me. She was here. She's the money in this.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. I know, man. She's not breathing, man. She's not breathing. She's gonna die. She's not breathing, man. Come on, man. What apartment are you in? Sir, tell me what apartment.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me clearly? StreamYard's having issues because they've been supposedly bought by somebody else, and I guess they're working through things of transferring it over. Can y'all hear me? Okay, is it clear? So look at this area right here. This area, there's a lot of blood right there. Like I said, if you've never investigated, which I've never investigated a crime scene, the only thing I've seen is crime scene photos and videos like this. So this looks like he tried to clean something up. It looks like, there's stuff all over the walls. So whenever somebody says that it was a bloody crime scene or there was blood everywhere, it doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, would be that there's blood that is just freshly on the floor, if that makes any sense. You could walk into this and go, damn, there's blood everywhere. Because there is, theoretically. Is that not correct? You walk into this area, there's blood everywhere that you can see. It's just not wet blood. So that would be the difference. So whenever you hear people talking like that or when they say things like that, you have to ask yourself, well, in what context was there blood everywhere? Kind of like in the other one. The other video looked like the blood was a lot fresher than this blood. And this sounds like a more horrific crime than the other one did. So once again, whenever you hear there's blood everywhere, well, technically you walk into this room, it's all over the floor, it's all over the walls. It's a very bloody crime scene. So to assume that you could walk into a house that somebody had been murdered in, and if it didn't look like this, then there obviously was a cleanup. You get what I'm saying? So if it did not look like this or worse, there was a cleanup. But look, if it's on the walls like this, how are you going to clean this off? That's why when people start their conspiracies and they start their talk about cleaning up the crime scene and this, that, and the other, how are you going to clean that off? You can spray bleach on this and it's just going to smear it because it's already into the sheetrock. It's already into the baseboards. It's already into the carpet. You're going to have to cut the carpet out because if you've ever spilt any kind of drink that is like fruit punch, like high C or just fruit punch soda or something like that, you know how damn hard that is to get off the carpet without smearing it even more and deeper into the carpet. And a lot of times you can't get it out. Once it hardens, the carpet dries, it's stuck in the carpet. You can still see it, but not as not like it was when you first built it. So the same thing applies to this. You have to use your logic, mental capacity to understand. Okay, that's what this is right here. And people could be skeptic. They could say, "Well, this looks like oil on the walls." Well, blood doesn't always look red when it absorbs into things.
I mean, are you in? Okay, come on, Robin, please send the phone right to her. She's gonna die, man. Come on, she's gonna die. No, I'm gonna send you some help, okay? Sir, stay with me. I'm gonna send you help, okay?
Screaming for help, man.
Screaming anything else?
No, man. I was just, baby, why you do this to me, baby? Wake up, baby. Help.
So any damage that occurred inside that apartment tonight,
I didn't.
you did it tonight.
I didn't.
Okay.
I know it wasn't her. I take the responsibility for every holes and everything broken there. I did it. I know I did it. She never do that.
Okay.
I know I did it.
And why did you do it?
That's the problem. I don't know why, man. We were drinking. I don't know. She's a good girl. She's a perfect girl, man. She's my love. She changed my name. She called me the other name of the other guy. And then she said it twice. And she was wrong. She was confusing me with him. At that point, I get mad. I get really, really mad.
Said it pleaded to guilty to murder and sexual battery. That is just terrible, guys. That's just terrible. I hope you enjoyed those two that I showed you. Right now, I want to talk about some of the cases where some of this stuff could really apply. Because think about the blood splatter. It says, do you think the 1122 house would be on repair and cleanup biohazard? I'm pretty sure that there was a lot of stuff, you know. This guy says we got a YouTuber right now messing with females, a male who has been deemed by a judge dangerous on social media. YouTube is allowing this man to harass women right here on YouTube. That's terrible. If that's true, that is terrible. This right here, I'm sure the cleanup was not what we think it is, you know, as far as them cleaning the walls and things like that. Like, it could have been, because I've watched some of these cleanup videos as well, and I would suggest that you watch those on YouTube if you can stomach a lot of the stuff that's shown on there. They do a pretty good job, but you can tell from seeing the before. Once they clean it up, you still know that how bad it was. So it looks different, but you still know in their mind, hey, that's still bad, you know. Hey, Texas, welcome. It ran from outside. It was a mess. Yeah, exactly. It was. So, you know, to say that um, that case wasn't Well, I agree with you. I mean, I agree that there's situations here on YouTube that are just crazy to say the word, but anyways, I was saying that, this was a bloody crime scene. All the ones that I just showed on the videos. So to say that whenever somebody walks into a home and you hear, or like the Delphi case, they were found next to trees and a stump and all this stuff. Why don't you cover them on your channel if you have a channel? I've never even heard of this. You're the first person who's told me about this. So um, that's not something that I'm prevalent to covering. So that's why I hadn't been covered. You know. Well, you're telling me in chat. You're telling me in chat. Well, that's good. That's good. You know. So what I'm saying right now, as far as these two cases, the difference in the severity is there, but the crime is still the same. It's like when you walk into these two areas, you have to understand exactly what you're looking towards and looking at. And sometimes individuals that are standing out here on the sideline, they don't really understand the severity of how these crime scenes look when somebody walks in. It's kind of like, since we talk about the Idaho 4 case a lot, and they say that they turned the EMS away. Well, if it looked like that or worse, you would understand as a first responder that there's no need for for this to happen. There's no need for EMS to come because you know that it's not going to help the situation. At that point, you need to have a crime scene forensic people to come in. I will cover every gang member I find on here that uses YouTube for laundering and exploitation. We're a team who started an investigation after the Idaho 4 case, and seeing this corruption we know. Well, I mean, if I were you, to be honest, YouTube is not a place to investigate crimes. If you have information that crimes are being committed with proof, then you need to send it to the authorities. You don't need to pop in the chats and be talking about it because that does nothing. It does nothing. I could bring awareness about it if it was true, but that's not going to do anything. You need to bring it to the authorities if it's happening. Okay, then what do you want me to do about it? I can't do anything on this platform to assist you in your situation. I wish I could. You say we know all about the Idaho 4 and the YouTube streets as well as other cases you discussed, the lake murders. You need to discuss the facts. Well, the facts are as I see them, not as you want me to do. This is not your channel. And there's only so much that you can discuss that are factual. The authorities are watching me. Yeah, I believe that. Well, I'm going to continue on because you're misguiding my attention to you. and I cannot do my live. And if that's what you're hoping to do, then you've accomplished it for the moment. But I can tell you this, if you do have information that is of criminal nature, you need to have reported to the authorities, because YouTube can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about it. Even if I knew the facts, it wouldn't be safe to sit here and spew them on YouTube. That is irresponsible. That is impeding an investigation. So I would suggest that you go to another panel and try to get somebody else to do it, because I'm not going to do it. Okay? And if you continue on, then we will just send you on your way, because this isn't that kind of channel. Okay? Try another channel. Well, then you can't do much else. You've done your part. You can't demand people talk about certain things that there is no factual information about. You're not bringing facts right now. You're bringing speculation. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Well, God forbid, because I could give a care less about my channel. Have a good evening. Why don't you get off the drugs and get a life? It's crazy how people like that just jump in and they just want to disrupt things. And then they start attacking the channel. You know what I mean? It's like, who is this guy? The authorities are watching your channel. Yeah, next time it goes more than two or three like that, or they start doing that, just go ahead and block them, Rondi, or whoever the mods are. Because, I mean, it takes my attention. And they could have multiple names. They could be back here in a minute, you know? So just be on the lookout for them or other people. That's what I want to tell any of y'all. If you have any kind of information that could lead to assisting in a case that is being discussed on YouTube, or something that you have knowledge of, don't bring it to creators. Bring it to the authorities, because they're the ones that can do something about it. None of these YouTube creators, and that's something that I hope creators get through their minds, because some of them act like they're criminal investigators, and they're not. You cannot solve a crime on YouTube. You can't. Even if we had all the information, we could. I mean, just think how wild it would be if we had all the evidence of the Idaho 4 case, all the evidence of Delphi, all the evidence of the Gilgo Beach case, all the evidence in some of the other cases that have been brought up that are very high profile. We still could not solve the case, because for some people that's not their forte, that's not their specialty. I believe that some of these people, they get on chemicals and they hop into these panels and they start disrupting stuff, talking all this craziness. Or you do understand that, the 21st is the full moon, so 3 days before and 3 days after, because we're 80% water. So what happens when the tide goes out? If you have a chemical imbalance, you're not going to have as much water to keep your system balanced. So you're going to act a little edgy, angry, frustrated. And then when it comes in, you slowly start to get back to normal. So yeah, um, I wasn't thinking about that, but that's the truth. So there's a lot of things that go on. People that are chemically imbalanced, they believe they watch YouTube so much, it starts to warp their reality. You know, and in life, that's why sometimes I don't like to talk about these things every day, because um you let in evil. You know, yeah. Yeah, this chat might get crazier. And if it does, just block them. It's no big deal to me. I mean, we're good. We're good. I'm not worried about all that. I just don't want to read all that craziness. And I know that y'all don't either. I mean, listen to the comment that person said, um, the authorities are watching your channel. I hope your channel doesn't go down or something. It's like, come on, bro. My channel has 1,400 or 1,400, yeah, 1,400 subs. 1,400. Why is my channel so important over somebody that has 40,000 subscribers or 30 or 20 or 10? You know? Yeah, don't wait next time. If they go three sentences like that continue to add to it after I've redirected it, just block them. Just block them. You know, if it's somebody real, they'll find a way to get word to me to unblock them. Now, Jeremiah or Texas or somebody goes off their rocker and they start going crazy in the chat under a different name, and I accidentally block them, I'm sure they'll get word to somebody, hey, that was me. I was having a bad day, you know? So, yeah, it is, it's not worth it. It's not worth all that. Like I told somebody the other day, I think it was Andrew, and we were talking about what live streams are about, and it's basically the 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 streamer, the creator, being in the middle, and everybody else being around them in a circle. And every now and then, somebody yells something, whether it's positive or negative or in defiance, and you're talking, and all of a sudden you have to stop and find out where that came from, and you're constantly looking around, and it's really distracting sometimes. And you're right, Carla. But do you really believe? I mean, this is as a society, we're so conspiracy, some of us minded, that we believe that everything is being monitored. And it could be. But YouTube is so strict as far as its guidelines. I promise you, there's nothing going to get by YouTube. I've had my live shut down twice over copyright things that I didn't even realize were copyrighted. So they're not going to let certain things go. That individual probably thinks that the feds are the ones that were flying around um in a plane watching Brian, flying around his mom and dad's house in a Cessna. That all the craziness that goes along with that case. I mean, it just insane. It's just insane, some of it. And I don't name creators' names, so I don't understand why anybody would get mad at me. Because I don't name names. I name what their channel does. And if you happen to stumble upon that, then you know, then you know whose channel I'm talking about. Well, the newest one that I've heard today was they found whoever showed this video where Joe Vito was looking at his phone, and on his phone there was a guy and a dark-haired girl, and there was two other people. There was another person on the floor, and Joe was watching this at the food truck, at the grub truck, and also they were showing Jack D balancing objects on his face right here, and he happened to be balancing an axe in one of them. So instantly, that means that all of a sudden he's suspect number one because he was balancing an axe. So that was probably the murder weapon, the axe. And the fact that Kaylee called him more than 10 times on that night means what? It means nothing. It means nothing. If you can put two and two together and make six, I guess it means everything to you. And once again, I'm not disrespecting anybody's thoughts. Make your money. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Make your money. Do what you got to do. Say what you got to say. And that's why I like this chat, because you guys want to move forward with different things, and I enjoy that. You don't want to sit still and stagnant and just talk about things over and over and over. I've been in chats where somebody will just throw something out and instantly it just turns the whole chat negative. Like they can just say one thing and they could be having a good chat. They could be having a good live stream. Somebody throws one thing about a case and it's like, it's over. It's over. Jeff H, you still in here? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I guess he left. There is only 5 people in here according to the thing. Sure, go ahead and ask. That's what we're here for. I started watching one yesterday that was just made with one 2 days ago. They were back to Reddit messages from 10/22, and I knew everyone in the Grub Truck video or thought they did. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and ask, Jeremiah. I'm waiting. Texas, you still in here? I was watching this guy named Tim Snow. He does the Texas prison stories or whatever. And those videos are wild. I don't know if you've ever seen them or anybody in here has ever seen those. Jeremiah says, what do you think about Ethan's golf clubs? I'm trying to gauge, I'm trying to gauge how you're asking that and whether they were used in the crime or whether they ever gave them back to the family. The only thing I've seen as far as the golf clubs is there was some golf clubs that were being loaded into the U-Haul, but I don't know if those were his. You know what I mean? Hey, typically unique. I don't know if they were his golf clubs or not. If they weren't, whose golf clubs were those? You get what I'm saying? And I would believe that just like we watched this evidence stuff going around here, unless there was a broken golf club in one of the rooms or a piece of the golf club or any of that stuff, that would be the only reason that they would have taken that into evidence and not returned them yet, if that makes sense. I, you know, but I do remember them loading up some golf clubs in the U-Haul. Oh, I didn't remember that. Xana had a set of golf clubs. Okay, so they both went golfing together. So they might have been hers. So they probably haven't given Ethan back, and you have to ask yourself, um, what has kept them from keeping those golf clubs? Were there pieces of golf clubs or anything that resembled golf club material in either of the rooms? I mean, were they used in the commission of the crime? Anything like that? And if it was, then you have to wonder, is that part of the reason? Because like that first video we saw, that would be like let's say that the frying pans or whatever wasn't the weapon, and there was knives in there or something, and they confiscated the knives because there was that little knife, that paring knife on that person's back with the note. So would that have been an evidence enough to confiscate? I mean, it would have been a weapon, so I don't know, for any other reason, just to potentially dust it for DNA, dust it for prints, anything like that. But I'm sure they would have given it back. But sometimes it takes the police a lot of time to give personal stuff back, if they ever give it back. You know what I mean? You're one of the subscribers? Jeff, was that you? Hey, Jeff, you want to come up? Want to come up and talk with your boy? He asked if Jeff H was a Fed. So this person, whoever it was, has been around long enough to know that Jeff had been accused of being a cop or being a Fed. So they're not too bright, whoever it was, because that's not information that everybody knows. You get what I'm saying? Okay, Jeff. Just let me know if you want to. I'll drop the link. Typically unique, you want to come up? You and Carlos want to come up for a little bit? Still got a little bit of time. I'm about to go work out here in a little while, and then I'm going to come back and do the Friday night thing that I promised you guys. Yeah, so it's been stated in older chats where people have questioned Jeff whether he's a Fed or whether he's a cop. So that statement right there in itself narrows it down to probably 3 people, if that. And I can almost pinpoint who those people are, because it seems like those people come into chat under different names all the time because I have blocked them before. So it's not hard to see this stuff. Okay, no problem. I was just asking. Um yeah, make sure the drugs that you're buying, Jeff, are FDA approved. Carla, you want to come up? You're more than welcome to. I really enjoyed the last time that you came up. Jeff is a little Napoleon. CVS, they usually have your medication pretty quickly. I mean, you show up there and your meds they're really quick on filling your medication. But that's what I'm telling you guys. I've been trained to look at patterns in people's behaviors, and their actions. So I pick up a lot of stuff that normal people don't get. Whenever he said, like the last time, that there was a troll in here, or somebody that is not a troll, that is a real person, but could be the same person, they always attack Jeff. So it makes you wonder who have you noticed has the most beef with Jeff on the chats? You know? Yeah, he has. So it's not hard to see. It's not hard to catch. Make sure you get your med, Jeff. Full moon, buddy. You don't want to be howling at the moon tonight. Up until the 21st. But yeah, I thought those two videos that I showed at the very beginning were very interesting, even though they were graphic. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. You would not realize it that dive deep into the crime scenes. And, to watch those things, it reminds you whenever you hear these crimes that are going on. Just how horrendous they are. Hi, Sue Ann. And the rest of you in chat, Jeremiah, Carla, Texas, Rondi, Typically Unique, Jeff, Aquarius. There you are. Hope you're doing better. When it comes to crime scenes, I saw this other one too, and it was describing it step by step. And for some reason, individuals, they view a picture or something. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to show you this picture. And this picture has been dissected 1,000,000 times. And I'm going to show you why this picture should be debunked and left alone already. These women they have been made famous by their appearance. Okay, let me see if I can find it. That's why Jeff is kind of like my technology guy. He's quick to find pictures and videos and stuff. I'm not. I don't have them separated as good as I should. Therefore, I have to waste probably 10-15 minutes finding stuff. Which I don't mind if you don't mind. Let me put on some music while I go do this. Okay? I'll be right back.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Your boy is getting good. He's getting quicker. So here's the picture that I'm going to show you. that has been discussed a million times. And since we're talking about crime scene investigation, I thought that I would bring this up because it's intriguing to me that there are so many people that dive into something and they don't let it go. Even if they know that it's not real what they're saying, okay? So look at this picture right here. Right here, this individual right here is one of the individuals that was pulling out a glove out of this van. See the chemicals and everything, all this stuff. Well, there was another female that was standing next to her right here with a kind of like a, I don't know what kind of haircut that is, but it's like a bob, I guess, and she has straight hair. So she steps on a glove. She moves out of the way. This person picks it up, throws it in a bag, and they've gotten hell for it. They've gotten hell for it. In the very beginning, that they were contaminating stuff. They were going into the house without protective gear and all this stuff because it says state police forensic, but they weren't. This these ladies were not going into the house. And I'm about to show you pictures to show you where these women were. To show you how foolish rumors get started. And that's what they are. They are not booms. They are not nothing else but rumors. You see this person right here? That is the same person that was standing back there behind that vehicle. She had booties on. She had gloves on. But you're going to see she's not going into the house. She's one of those that is investigating outside the home. This is what I wanted to show you. They say, well, they contaminated this, they contaminated that. You see her right here? And this is that other girl that I was talking about that was standing next to her by the van. You see what they're doing? They're photographing and measuring the tire marks. She took the booties off, obviously, because she wouldn't need them in the road. Are y'all watching what I'm presenting, or y'all talking about food? Because y'all gonna make me hungry. So look at these two people. So whenever you're ever in a panel again and people start attacking these two for cross-contaminating or not wearing their protective gear or not wearing their hazmat suits or anything like that, I want you to remember that these people all have a different role that they play in the investigation. Not all these people went into the house and were looking for evidence. These two are looking for evidence outside the home. See, here she is again. She's looking outside the window pane, outside of Bethany's window. You see her? This is Bethany's window right here. She's obviously photographing evidence. So what do y'all think about that? You think I'm making this up, or do you think it's real? See, here's another one of the same two women working outside the home. There's the woman, and there's the other one that were getting the gloves out of the box or out of that truck, measuring tire marks. There's no reason that they need to be all hazmated up. And still, I'm showing this, but people are they're gonna debate me on it. I can promise you. That's not the same two women. That's two different women. Blah blah blah. Let me see if I have a picture of the one with those two women looking at other places. So what do y'all think about that? I mean, I look at little things like that not because I'm trying to debunk other people's thoughts and theories and stuff like that, but whenever it's blatant to me that things of that reality is false, and so many people buy that narrative from these creators, it makes me wonder what their agenda is. What is their agenda? What are they trying to push? Because what makes a creator so hardcore to be pushing a narrative if they weren't working for a specific outcome? See, there's that lady again. There's that other one that I showed you. See, there's one right here. I don't think that's the same one, but it could be. She has her hair up in a bun. I'm trying to see if I can see there's another lady, but she doesn't have the writing on this jacket, so I don't think this is one of the same ladies. But as you notice, they're working outside the home. This guy had booties on. You know, they're all working outside the home. This guy's been in the house, so he has gloves on and he has booties on. See, these are the people that you would think everybody would be dressed like this, and they're not. Or hold on, that's not even a person. That's a mattress right here. This is a mattress or some piece of furniture that's been wrapped up in a sheet. Man, I thought that was a person. I thought that was a person in a hazmat suit. That is obviously looking like a piece of furniture or maybe foam of some sort. And you say, well, they're in there and they're touching everything and they don't have hazmat suits on and this and that and the other. But you don't know when they were in there. Has all the forensic part already been done? Were they the first responders? I mean, I could say anything about this. I really could. And it's interesting to me when people get on these theories and they won't back off. You know, they won't back off. Yeah, that's all I wanted to show you on that because it just blows my mind that once you get your mindset to something, you can't be shown any other way. If the cops are honest, they will tell you the scene wasn't roped off properly and incompetent procedures contaminated and corrupted the crime scene. I believe that. Wouldn't they wear them into the actual rooms? I would say if they were the individuals that were gathering dusting for prints, doing DNA searches, things of that nature, maybe swabbing blood, things that you don't want to contaminate the fluid or that area, then they would have them on. They would have the goggles, they'd have the hazmat suit, they'd be covered from head to toe, just like the killer would have been, you know? So the other persons that are investigating the crime that usually come after that, they usually wear booties, because all the valuable information and evidence has already been collected. So the crime scene is not necessarily cleared, but it's cleared enough for people to walk through there and do the phase part of the investigation, if that makes sense. Exactly. Jeremiah, I mean, you can't really tell. Like, I thought that was a man in a hazmat suit, and it wasn't. It looked like a mattress or some kind of foamy object had been wrapped around with a sheet, so it's very interesting how perception plays a role in our reality. It's very interesting. But a lot of these cases have the same thing. It's kind of like the Delphi. When you remember, they were talking about how the sticks were placed on the two girls. How they resembled some sort of ritual, and so people jumped on that, and instantly they were thinking, well, this was a ritualistic killing, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know still if I feel that they got the right person. Even though he confessed, I don't know how I feel about that. And what's sad is, if somebody confesses, does that instantly mean that they're guilty of the crime, or are they a part of the crime? You get what I'm saying? Like, maybe that person didn't commit the act. He's just the one that got caught. The real perp is still out there. And that's what makes finding the suspects so hardcore, because if you narrow in on one person and he's not the one, he or she's not the one, then the real person's still out there. So what are you going to do? Start your investigation all over after you've dug so far into this one? Now you got to start over. Delphi was like what, 15 years already before and it's more now. But when they arrested Richard Allen, it was 15 years in the making. That means for 15 years they had no clue who that perp was. And I don't know how they zeroed in on him, because I haven't watched that case thoroughly. But if y'all know how they did it, I mean, it's probably an interesting way that they zeroed in on him. Plus, they got a confession. But a confession could be false. I mean, it could be him, and he's been incarcerated, and he hasn't even been convicted. That's what I don't understand. It's like he's been in a prison, not a jail. He's been in a prison. I've never heard of that here in Texas. That the inmate or the person awaiting trial goes to a prison to await their trial. It doesn't usually happen here like that. They wait in county. You know, they wait in county until their trial if they don't have bail, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. They don't get sent to a unit that I know of to wait their trial. That's just weird to me. That just blows my mind that he's in actual population with other people who have been convicted. How did that happen? How is that not against the law? I guess that's how that state works. I don't know. Because different states are different, based on what they do with their people. I agree too, because I mean, when he went in, he was a heavy set individual, and I mean, I think I've heard that through news reports and things that his health has been deteriorating. He's not eating because he's fearful that people are going to try to poison him, and he's lost so much weight in his mental capacity. He looks like he's just not all there. You know how you look at an elderly person right before they're about to die? They have that look, that bewildered, not lucid look about them. They just look like they're not there. They're not all there. Oh, I'm talking about Richard Allen in the Delphi case. How frail he looks now compared to when they arrested him, because he was a heavy set man. He was a heavy set man, and I know in the Delphi case, didn't they suspect that the owner of the land where they found the girls could have been the perpetrator as well? Didn't I hear that in one of the reports? They thought for the longest time that man or his son could have been the perpetrator. That's an interesting case. I mean, I've just kind of been waiting for it to have some kind of closure. That way, to go back and dive into it, to really understand the stuff from the trial, rather than just the stuff from the movies and documentaries and stuff that they made. Because I want to get it factual, not just what other people's perceptions of the truth is. Kind of like Boo Boo was saying, why don't you talk about facts? What kind of facts should I be talking about? I mean, doesn't get much more factual than your impression of what you're seeing, right? Oh, Boo Boo. Poor Boo Boo. The murder sheet has all the text between Mata and defense. They read them on episode. Okay. I'll really have to go look into that case. I mean, right before I dove into Idaho 4, I was following that case. Like right after they arrested him and everything else like that, I was following that case because it was intriguing. I didn't understand how it took so long to identify a suspect. The guy that the little girl, I think, what was her name? Audrey, I think. No, Boo Boo's not back. um, I think her name was Audrey. She's the one that took the picture of him, right? The perpetrator walking on the bridge. She's the one that took the picture and left the recorder, or left her phone recording where they heard the the vocal thing where he said down the hill, you know, down the hill. Abby and Libby. Okay, yeah. I thought it started with an A. I just couldn't remember. But yeah, one of the two little girls snapped a photo of him, and also, you heard him say down the hill. So I wonder whoever did that had been watching that bridge, or watching people cross that bridge, and just waiting for young children to be the ones unattended to do what they were doing, to do what they did. You get what I'm saying? Like, because as we've heard, killers, they stalk their victims a lot of times. They look for patterns to get their victims either isolated from everybody else, or to look at the best time to be at that location to commit their crime. If that makes sense. And you guys, if you're not familiar with the memberships on this channel, I've lowered the prices down I think the lowest one is 99 cents, and then it goes $1.99, $2.99, $3.99, and then the highest one's $5.99. I had the first one $5.99, and I didn't know how I was setting that up, so I went through and I changed all the prices. So if you want to be a member to the channel, please do so. There's a lot of interesting perks that I plan on rolling out, members only. Because I believe that there's at least 10 of you that would be members. I'm pretty certain of it. Because you are in here almost every live stream. So it's almost like a members only, but I don't like the fact that we can have people to subscribe and come in here and cause havoc. Because I have all these lives set for subscribers only. So whoever that person was subscribed and waited 10 minutes to be able to come in here and cause chaos. So people can't just jump in here like they were before and cause chaos right off the bat. So it's usually like right there when you pull up the channel, it's right under the picture. It says join. And in the video as well, it's right next to the name. Like in mine it would say 12 gauge investigative, and it's a join button. And you click that button, that's the membership button. It's not there. That's wild. It's not on the channel either, because I can see it whenever I go to those two places. I don't know. I'll have to check out your channel and see if I can see yours. Let me look right quick on yours. See if I can see yours. Could you have a membership button as well? Yeah, yours comes up. It's on the main page. It's right next to where it says where you have your picture, and then it says typically unique, and then it says subscribe, and then right next to it says join. Let me show you. You and Carlos take such good pictures. Do y'all color coordinate all the time, or is it just on here? I mean, I know up here you aren't in the same color. You see right here where it says subscribed, and then there's the join button. Join this channel. So I'm gonna join. Okay. Did you see that? So that's where it is. And on the videos, let's say this video,
Why did law enforcement?
it's usually it's usually the first button. Since I already joined, it says see perks. So here's your name, here's the join button, and here's the subscribe button. And on mine, underneath here, I think it shows the merchandise. Let me see if I can show this video that Jeff sent me. Let me look it up first. I hope y'all don't have anywhere to be. I enjoy that you're here with me and y'all are enjoying each other's company in the chat. Yeah, here it is. Hold on a second. I don't know why you can't hear him. Okay, I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I've done it before. I just don't know how to do it. Not letting me. Hold on a second. I'm so freaking. There it is. I don't know why there's no sound. He basically says, "Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a good morning. Um, I got my 12 gauge mug. That's one of the mugs that I have. Well, thank you, Leon. Thank you so much. My first member. That's awesome. Thank you." Almost said, "Welcome to the Clue Crew." Man, if Clue watching this, she swears up and down I stole something that I said one day. I don't know, something about mic drop or something, and she was giving me hell about that. But that's her catchphrase, so it's pretty cool whenever you're in her chat or you're in her chat and somebody joins and becomes a member. I like hearing her say that. That's unique. I don't know. I guess I got to make up a slogan. Y'all help me out with a slogan. I know that I have. I don't know what it's called. Gunslingers, I guess. One of them's a gunslinger, double barrel something. If you go and look on the page, you'll see the membership, and you'll see the perks, and you'll see the little badges. What is card info? Do you give card info from members? I don't know what that is. Okay, I've never done membership thing. Okay, thank you, Cash. Um, I don't know what card info is. I mean, I know that for new members, and as you progress throughout the thing, you get little badges next to your name and in the chat, and then also, yeah, it charges your card monthly or until you want to stop being a member, and you can cancel at any time. So you can. I don't see your card info when you sign up. It's only on your side. So I don't have a clue about your card info or anything like that. Just when you sign up at whatever credit card you have attached to YouTube, that it shows you, but it doesn't show me. You're on a mission now, aren't you? And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I mess with all this stuff all day long, and I don't even know half of it because there's so much involved in being a streamer. And I've been asked, are you ever going to get memberships? You ever going to get memberships? I did, and it was too much. Someone on a phone tell me you see memberships. I forgot my password. But that's fine. You don't have to do it tonight. I mean, just if you feel like in the future, if you want to do that, I'll just letting y'all know that I've lowered it down. It's no longer $5.99. So I just treat good creators I watch a lot like a TV subscription. Gotcha. Yeah, you don't have to be a member in order to be here. I appreciate you without being a member or without not. But there are going to be some members only videos that I show. And those are going to be kind of like the videos where where I let you know more about myself and more about, you can even have a one-on-one with me where it's nobody else but you and I, you know what I mean? So, that's later on down the line. I have one where you can see my social medias, platforms or whatever, and you're able to, follow me on social media. It just, there's a lot of perks, and I'm just getting used to them all. So, um, they're specific things that give you your more bang for your buck. You know what I mean? So, um, you can cancel at any time. I mean, it's no big deal. I just 12 gauge jams on the guitar. Yeah, that would be a perk also. A private guitar lesson. Where I'm jamming on the guitar. Jeff, are you home yet, bro? I'm not a socialite. That's fine. That's fine. I understand it. You can see where I spend most of my time. I'm either reading, studying, working out, or going to the pool, or just stuff that I don't have to deal with a lot of people. But you know what's cool? But you said addiction issues for a convoy with you, right? Yeah. Yeah, or anybody that has addiction issues, you can be live streaming like this, and we could be having a conversation. Yeah. You know what's cool is there you are, typically unique. Thank you so much. What's cool about this platform is that you can use it for good. You can use it for your strength. Like, let's say if you were a nurse, or you have some, you're a person that deals with children or whatever. Um, you can bring your expertise to your own channel, and you can address those things on the areas that that you specialize in. I mean, that's why I use the addiction and the therapy stuff too, because I know that there's people struggling with these things, and I don't like to talk about true crime all the time, because that other area is really my specialty right now. Um, Once I get my degree in criminal justice, then I'll be more insightful on it, and I can even take you onto a courtroom, or through a trial, and explain to you what's going on, what these words mean, what they mean when they say this. And I think that would be awesome for people to understand the wording. That way, when trials are going on, they know what's going on, rather than to have to hear about it through three or four creators, and get more confused. And I believe that sometimes confusion comes from too much information. Like, you hear from one person, and then you go into another panel and they say it totally different, and you go to another panel and they say it totally different. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that too much information sometimes causes a lot of confusion. And sometimes when you guys ask questions, which I encourage, you know, to some creators, it almost comes across as you're challenging what they've explained it to be. And, that's not really healthy to anybody. So, too much information is just as bad as not enough information, especially if it's not explained to the point where you could understand it. Yeah, very good. You can't eat from everyone's table. That's true. That's so true. I like that. I like that saying right there. Yeah, and I also noticed that like on the community posts, I can post just members only community posts. So it's just crazy. I don't know. I'm still gonna post open and public for everybody. The members only stuff, I'm gonna give you perks. I just gotta figure it all out. So be patient with me. Okay. I see that your name's turned a different color though. Like typically yours turn green with a green little badge. And Leon's was a different color too. Y'all enjoy these small chats, don't you? You can just kind of chill with each other and and just talk and ask questions and feel free to not be hundreds of people in here that you're competing with attention for. That's what I like about it is the personalized ability to be here with all of you and to be able to interact with you guys. Because I think the more that there is in chat, the easier it is for people who want to be heard to kind of be swept under the carpet a little bit because there's so many people in the chat you don't really see them. And there's some people watching that never chat. I encourage you that, if you get on your phone or a laptop or something like that, if you do have something to say, this is a safe place. You're not going to be attacked. You're not going to be timed out. You're not going to be blocked. The people that I have timed out or blocked are very belligerent or they're very forceful. They come in here telling me what I need to do on my channel. I mean, it's like coming into my home and telling me, "Hey, this is what you need to do in your home." It's not courteous at all. That's what I hear. It's pretty calm unless Jeff H is in here. Yeah, me too. Like I still go into chats and I might say hello and I might get hello from the mods. Might get some hellos from people who know me from my channel who are subscribers. But most of the time there's a lot of people that don't know who I am, you know? So, if you enter other chat, just try to take it with a grain of salt, all the information that you get. Because too much is too much. Too much of a good thing is sometimes overwhelming for people, you know? Has anybody bought a new vehicle lately? We were talking about that the other night, how expensive they are. I did see this Challenger today. It was silver, and I think they wanted 2,000 down. I think it was like 10,000. It was a 11 or 12, and it was totally silver with a racing stripe, white racing stripes, chrome wheels. And I thought, man, it would be like 200 a month for 48 months or something like that. And I thought, man, I need to get on that. But one thing that I've learned as far as having more than one vehicle at a time, you can only drive one vehicle at a time. So one of them sits there and goes without being driven while you're just driving the other one. If they want to jump in your chat, they can drop your link. Yeah, exactly. Hey, yours is green also. So both of y'all have green badges. Hey, I like that. That's a cool color right there. So yeah, exactly. I'm gonna hold out. My Tundra's good to go for now. I'm about to go on a trip next week, and I've traveled that way more than once in my Tundra when I first got it. That's a good truck. I like it. I like it a lot. If you're ever in the I don't know about the newer Tundras, but if you go between the years 14 to probably 18, those Tundras right there are very durable. They're strong. They have power, and like the Toyota place told me, and I believe it. If you take care of them, if you maintenance them, and make sure you change the oil and stuff like that, water, change the hoses or whatever when they're needed, a vehicle can last you for a long time. You just got to be good to it. You can't be hot rodding it all the time. You're an alien? I'm a Canva Pro. I can customize badges for you. I'm a Canva Pro. That's awesome because I don't know how to use any of that. That's why my thumbnails are usually just a picture of whatever it is that I'm discussing, and I like that because it's different. You know what I mean? I just put a picture of whatever it is that I spoke on, and people kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? We're all weirdos in our own special way. That's what makes us unique. But I've seen some qualities in you, Aquarius, that you appear to have a very kind heart, and you appear to have very, very, very good insight on some things that go on in your life. Don't beat yourself up. None of y'all need to. We're in no competition with anybody but ourselves. And sometimes you need to put that alter ego in a headlock and just hold it down until it taps out. Because it doesn't need to win all the time, you know what I mean? The good person can win. And that brings me to something that I was listening to, the new Eminem CD, where it's called The Death of Slim Shady. And on one of his songs, he's literally going back and forth with Slim Shady. Marshall Mathers versus Slim Shady. And that reminded me of the video where I was talking to myself in the video and commentating to myself. So it's like we all have that alter ego that we sometimes fight with, and it's sometimes tragic that we listen to the negative alter ego most of the time. So try to do better. If you want to be better, try to do better. But I've gone on here for 2 hours. I need to hit the gym or I'm not gonna go. And I definitely need to go because I can't be rolling out on the beach looking like I need to be harpooned. You know what I mean? Um, I can't be, being on the beach and they're like, get him! you know, um, some people are just intellectuals. That's why you feel so much of an outcast. You look at life through a different lens, and that's okay. You look at life by analyzing it, by putting it through filters and to get the end result. Because you've been hurt, you have trust issues, you have trauma, you have PTSD, whatever. It doesn't matter what these filters that you look through life through. It's a protective barrier that you've developed to keep you safe. And there's nothing wrong with that. Do not talk down on yourself for being different. Everybody needs some kind of filter to protect themselves from the world. And I thought I'd say that because I never considered myself a analytical person until I started going to college and getting a degree and being a therapist and this and that and the other. You know, and then I started diving into the books and trying to learn as much as possible about myself. And I just started seeing my biases and my old belief systems fade away because I started learning new ways to be more adaptable to my new life. The old you doesn't live here anymore. You know what I mean? So be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And I hope that y'all hear that because everybody, whether it's on replay or whether it's live, y'all need to be kind to yourself. Yeah, laughter does heal. You're right, Carla. Yeah, if you can't laugh, you can't cry either. And sometimes you're tired of crying. You just wanted some laughter. Well, tell me, shut up, 12 gauge. Go work out. No, guys, I'm gonna bounce for a little bit. I'm probably gonna do the live thing and take some requests for some music, and you guys can chat. But I don't know about keeping it on all night. I'll probably do a couple of hours and then we'll call it a night. So you guys come back. Come back in a couple of hours and I'll start the music portion of it and I'll just get on YouTube and I'll take requests and I'll play the songs. So you guys come back. All right? And I'll see y'all in a little bit. Maestro, cue the music. And thank you for joining the channel as well. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your subscriptions. You guys are awesome. Don't forget that. Don't beat yourself up. I like this new outro that I have right here. I haven't used it a lot. Here we go.